The cantina fell silent as Commander Zextai limped to the center stage, his forearms trembling slightly as he gripped the podium. The Galactic Veterans Assembly had gathered representatives from 12 species, but all eyes were fixed on the scarred Vorthic warrior who had requested this unprecedented testimony. "I have fought in 17 campaigns across the Outer Rim," Zextai began, his voice carrying the weight of countless battles. "I have faced the cybernetic hordes of the Nexus Collective, survived the psionic assaults of the Ethereal Dominion, and witnessed the molecular dissolution weapons of the Crystalline Empire." He paused, his compound eyes scanning the diverse audience. "But nothing, absolutely nothing prepared me for humanity." A ripple of unease passed through the assembly. The Human-Galactic Alliance War had ended 3 cycles ago, and most species preferred not to discuss those dark years. "You want to know why we sued for peace?" Zextai's mandibles clicked nervously. "Why the greatest military coalition in galactic history surrendered to a species that had barely achieved faster-than-light travel? Let me tell you about the Battle of Kepler 442b. The holographic display behind him flickered to life, showing tactical readouts from the infamous engagement. "We had them surrounded. 50,000 of our finest warriors against their pitiful garrison of 300 humans. Our plasma artillery had reduced their fortifications to rubble. Victory was assured." Zextai's voice dropped to barely above a whisper. That's when they started singing. Several aliens in the audience shifted uncomfortably. The human war songs had become legendary and terrifying throughout the galaxy. "Not their death chants or surrender pleas," the commander continued. "Songs about their home, about something called rolling hills and amber waves of grain. As our forces advance, expecting to find broken defenders, we discover humans who fought with the fury of cornered predators while singing about their mothers." The display showed horrific battle footage humans continuing to fight with grievous wounds that would have felled any other species, dragging themselves forward with severed limbs, using their own blood to mark targets for their comrades. Private Jenkins, I still remember his name, took 17 plasma rounds to the chest. Our medics declared him clinically dead. Yet he crawled 200 meters, armed a nuclear device, and eliminated an entire assault column before finally expiring. Zextai's voice cracked. He was humming something called Amazing Grace. Commander Veltar of the Hegemony Forces leaned forward. Surely their berserker rage was chemically induced? Some combat stimulant? Zextai's laugh was bitter. "That's what we thought. We captured several humans and subjected them to extensive biological analysis. No enhancements, no combat drugs, just pure, distilled determination." He activated another hologram. "This is Captain Sarah Chun, during the siege of New Shanghai. Watch her tactical decisions." The assembly watched in stunned silence as the human commander orchestrated a defense that should have been impossible. Outnumbered 50-1, her forces held a critical spaceport for 18 days using nothing but ingenuity, recycled ammunition, and what humans called spite. She turned their own water recycling system into an improvised chemical weapon. Zextai explained. Converted civilian mining equipment into artillery. When we finally breached their lines, we found humans who had been fighting for 43 hours straight without sleep, sharing their last rations with wounded prisoners. Our prisoners. The crystalline representative's light form pulsed anxiously. Their illogical behavior patterns. We could never predict their responses to standard psychological warfare, because they don't follow standard patterns. Zextai's forearms gestured. Wildly, we broadcast images of their burning colonies, expecting surrender. Instead, they fought harder. We captured their leaders, thinking it would break their morale. They just promoted someone else and kept fighting. We targeted their supply lines, their communications, their reinforcements. Nothing worked because humans treat warfare like problem solving. He pulled up a final image, a young human medic treating wounded aliens while under heavy fire. This is Corporal Martinez. During the Battle of Proxima Station, she spent 6 hours performing surgery on enemy combatants while her position was being overrun. When we asked her why, she said, "Because they needed help." The assembly remained silent, absorbing the implications. "You see," Zextai continued, "we fight wars to achieve objectives. Humans fight wars to protect what they love. We calculated acceptable losses and strategic withdrawals. Humans calculated how to keep fighting when mathematics said they should be dead." He paused, studying the faces before him. "They have a saying, the only easy day was yesterday. Every single day. They expected things to get worse, and they prepared accordingly." The Vorthic commander straightened, despite his injuries. When the peace accords were signed, I asked Human General Morrison why they agreed to stop fighting when they were clearly winning. He looked at me with those predator eyes and said, "Because we'd rather build than destroy. But we're equally good at both." Zextai limped back to his seat, leaving the assembly in contemplative silence. Finally, Ambassador Kresh of the Trade Federation spoke. "What is your assessment of future human expansion into the galaxy?" The scarred veteran considered carefully before responding. "Pray they remain our allies. Because if humanity ever truly goes to war not for territory or resources, but for survival, the galaxy will learn what scorched earth really means." He fixed his gaze on each delegate in turn. They are a species that name their children's bedtime stories after mythological creatures that eat nightmares. They sing lullabies about cradles falling from trees. Their entertainment consists of scenarios where everything goes wrong, and they still find a way to win. As the assembly dispersed, whispered conversations filled the cantina. The official record would show a routine veterans briefing, but everyone present understood the real message. Humanity had shown remarkable restraint during the war. Nobody wanted to discover what they were capable of when restraint was no longer an option.